How's it going, crew? Hope everybody's doing well. Happy Friday. Here we are. Yakiniku Tanjoubi omedetou. Everybody, thank you for the birthday wishes. I appreciate it. Here we are. Here we are. Another year. You know, it's been pretty cool and pretty interesting, honestly. A year ago, on my birthday, which isn't actually today, full disclosure, it was a couple days ago, but I only stream once a week, so it made sense to call this the birthday stream. Either way, I appreciate it. The thing I realized is a year ago today, man, it was wild times, and we were all at the top of the roller coaster going down into the unknown of this awful pandemic that we've all had to be living through. And it's just wild to think that that's where we were a year ago, and now hopefully we're coming out from all that mess. Not done yet, but we're in the process. We're getting there. We are all becoming better than we were a year ago. That is for sure. All right. We are gonna get set up. Dropping password into Discord shortly. Just getting loaded in. My teleport to pits button isn't wanting to work tonight, so I'm gonna double check that real quick, and then we'll drop the password. Yep, it's just not going to work tonight. Interesting. Every other button works. My pit spot is messed up too. Alright. Lovely. Let's try in a different car. Chat, if you spam the same message, I will boot you. Just so you know. I appreciate your enthusiasm, but nobody needs to see all that. One time, please. Okay, so the first car I tried to join in was stuck in the sand. This map's pits are usually fine, but that slot was no good. Oh, nope, nothing is working. Okay, well, technical difficulties. Wouldn't you know it? So now my wheel is completely not responding at all in-game. But we got some nice drifting video to watch, so that's good. We will try a reboot. Our second reboot. Nothing else, we'll just hang out. I'm not worried about it. It's all good. Vanel, the password drops in the KT announcements channel. How is that possible? Why the fuck is my wheel not working? This is so odd. Okay, looks like I get to remap everything. Which again, not a big deal, it happens. Okay, I think we've got that working. Let's see. Shifter works, so that's good. Turbo adjust works. Teleport to pits works. Everything looks fine. Okay, let's see if it'll work this time. Boys. Boys. I don't know anything about 3rd Gen Celica's Mega. Nothing worth talking about. I probably used to know a fair bit and have forgotten all manner of things. Some buttons that work. Okay. I just decided to join offline. Let's see if that carries over to online. And if so, we'll finally be all set. I don't know why, but I know for a fact that every so often everything just stops working for my live streaming setup or for Assetto. People always complain. You gotta understand, this is mod life, man. When you're modifying games, stuff happens. You can't get upset about it. You just have to be patient and fix it. And if that doesn't work for you, then, you know, maybe modding is not the scene for you. I don't know. But we always try to help people out in the Discord community, and we do a pretty good job about it. But at the end of the day, everybody's responsible for their own success or failure in getting mods to work, getting keys to get mapped, etc. Okay, cool. Stuff is working now. So we will drop that password and get to work. Oh boy. Alright, so I'm going to drop the join info in for everybody who's always going to ask. Just so you know what's up. I'm next to a thank you. And thank you everybody for the birthday wishes. I appreciate it. You know, it's interesting. No, you cannot mod AC on PlayStation or Xbox, unfortunately. It is a limitation of consoles. It's just not possible. Sorry to be the bearer of bad news. But yeah, man, it hits different this year, guys, to be in all the disconnectedness that is the shadow of COVID and get birthday wishes. It's really nice. I appreciate it. Thank you. Let's see how this looks. I'm kicking it casual tonight. We got the shorts, the jersey shorts on. We got the Star Wars shirt on. We're chilling. Cause it's getting hot. My office and streaming room is not the most cool temperature ever out there. I was kind of thinking about doing Initial D for the first half of the live stream and just letting you guys shred, but unfortunately I also had all that content break, so I'm not gonna have time to rebuild everything. Some other time. Alright, we got our track back up so that we know that it's safe to enter the track without hitting people. One of the surefire ways to get kicked off of my server. Alright. Server filled up in seconds. Yep, it tends to do that. I have not... Oh, that would be first gear. I have not driven this track in like a year. So we're just going to sight read it for a second. Let's see. How we do here. This is Grange out in California. I have been on this track in drift tandems in real life, but I was not driving. I was filming. Several of you guys who have come out to the past couple of live streams have, I'm sure, seen the music video I put together from out here. Let's see if we can't do the main straight real quick. Oh, probably not. No, I usually overshoot it the first like 30 tries. Thank you everybody for the birthday wishes. We're just chilling. It's just another hangout. Got a tornado watch. Yeah, that's the thing about being out in the Midwest. It is getting to be that time of year. I'm hoping that I don't have any. We got some storms out my way too. I'm hoping that we don't have anything interrupt the stream. It really never has unless we straight up lose electricity, and that's not particularly often. So we're probably fine. Alright, let's start. An acceptable guess. So yeah, I'm just not actually that great at this track in Assetto, but we're putting together what we can here. Just sight reading. It flows pretty nicely in real life though, but I just find myself offline, and it's difficult to link if you get offline in several spots here. Some strong wind as well, right on. Baron, thank you for the wishes. Haven't been able to get around lately. It happens. Totally it happens. Following the Supra. Which we're slowly catching up to. Interesting update for those of you who follow my car preferences in Assetto. I have begun preferring the 180 SX over the S13 Coupe lately. Not by like a whole lot, but just that little bit. Speed and Custom, thank you. Nick, first time catching a stream. Finished your custom rig, very cool. Congrats on finishing your rig. What's up, Gooch? Thank you for the wishes. Yeah, we got some great mods in the community, for sure. Oh. Alright. We're off to an okay start here. Joey, yeah, I've been playing Live for Speed since 2005, I think. 2005 or 6 on an old Driving Force GT. I am familiar. I think it's got a few pros and it's got a few cons compared to Assetto, but when people ask me what are the best drifting simulators out, I say Assetto and Live for Speed, no doubt. I wish there was a bigger community, and there might be if I made content around Live for Speed more. It's on my I might do it at some point list. Zach, any tips for someone learning to tandem? I seem to either fall away from the leader and can't keep up, or presumably bash into the back of them and keep up just fine. I would say just focus on your solo lines, get to where you can link the track, and put the car, you know, race line, out and out, outside every turn and inside every turn, and or as close as you can. And then it's just a matter of paying attention to the lead car, getting comfortable, adjusting to the fact that you can't see the track because the lead car is in the way when you get close, and sometimes that makes you transition earlier or later than you should, and that is a big part of the reason why it's difficult to keep up. You know, does it mess with the flow when somebody unfamiliar with the tracks and like linking drift joins? I mean, it's basically a public lobby every Friday, so we certainly get people that are not very seasoned, to put it politely. You know, we have a big range of people that link the track 10 out of 10 times and can do door-and-door tandems, and occasionally we've got people that can't seem to get around one turn that pop in for a little while and eventually usually tend to go on their own way. But in general, we're open to it. Because it's a Matsuri style event, you will be tandemed with if you show up, whether you like it or not, like just because the pack will catch up and then move past you. But come out and give it a try. I think it's best to be able to link the track, you know, at least half the time, preferably like 7 or 8 times out of 10. Doesn't have to be pretty, but like stay in drift and keep all 4 wheels on the concrete. But it's up to you. How many % you have? TW asks Daryl. If you're talking about force feedback, I'll drop my settings into chat for you. Logan, what's up? Just joined the stream. Oh, birthday on the 1st. Yeah, man. April birthdays, rise up. Bowler, my car does not have AC, and I deal with it like every other racing driver. I just get sweaty. At some point, I might get a cool suit system for the car, but I mean, it's fine. Tarpy, read the video description, and you can get everything you need. I'll drop it in chat as well. Thank you for the birthday wishes. Alright, we're going to cut a few more laps here. I'm going to be lazy and stick it on my non-POV view. I also have a sort of a helmet cam type of effect. Thank you, Hawk. Gonna mosey up to the starting line. See if we can't find some people to follow. Actually, I want longer gears. I always forget about gears. But since we have the ability to change them, why wouldn't we? There we go. That should help. I need to see some clips from the Freedom 500. I have not had the amount of time that I would prefer to keep up with that. right. Would I race in the Freedom 500? Do you have to sort your own car? I would absolutely race in it if it wasn't in my car. I don't want to play bumper cars with my 240 really. Ryan, thank you. Appreciate it. I did my LS swap myself, yes. It's not too hard if you have a swap. Oops. It's not too hard if you have a swap kit. Otherwise, you do have to fabricate or have things fabricated. So you have to solve for several of those kind of things. But once you do that, it's not too bad. They provide the VIX? Okay. Yeah, absolutely, man. I would love to. That would be super fun. And I also strangely like huge cars that drive terribly, so that would be great. Drew, I don't know what you're on about with all this mullet stuff, but thanks for keeping the chat active. Go ahead. I'm trying to come out fine. Decent little follow. Mercenary Turbo leading from a little bit farther up. Grange is a track that is pretty difficult to tandem on closely unless you really know the people that are leading and they know the track well. Ideally, everybody knows the track well. Game and right on, bud. Oh, we're too far inside for that. Yeah, almost everybody uses the cheap USB handbrakes. It's more like, is there anybody not using the cheap USB handbrakes? Typically it's either people that don't have a handbrake at all, or they're using like a keyboard or something, or everybody's got the cheap eBay handbrakes. Oof, paddle shifters as handbrakes. Are they at least stationary or do they spin with the wheel? If they spin with the wheel, that sounds terrible. Hydrate for a second. Wait for somebody to come up the hill to follow. We'll follow Robot for a second. See how he does. robot is doing pretty well here, assuming he doesn't catch the stream curse. Yeah, nicely done. Nicely done. Aaron, I have not, unfortunately, ran any Thrustmaster wheels, but I'm thinking about reaching out and seeing if I can get access to like a TX or a T300. I'd love to make some content around my thoughts on recommended settings for them. Yeah, I meant to do that, that's fine. Robot doesn't know yet, so he's doing well. It happens, unfortunately. Like, I didn't want to believe it, but I have observed a lot of curious coincidental wipeouts after I get behind people sometimes. Spanish, oh, sorry Turbo, that didn't work. I don't know what happened, my e-brake didn't actually break. Yo no hablo español, lo siento. Lyle, thank you, I appreciate it. I totally get getting nervous. Everybody gets nervous about something. Or at least they used to. You know, like after 10 years of drifting, maybe you don't get as nervous about that, but everybody's got stuff to get nervous about. Yo no hablo español, lo siento. I speak English and I speak Japanese. Palisade, what's up, man? The engine is actually going back in this weekend on the IRL car. I barely got the stream ready in time tonight because I was trying to get the garage ready and everything laid out, so should have a homie or two coming over tomorrow afternoon. We'll stab the transmission back onto the engine and then drop that sucker in. Now granted, that doesn't mean the car's going to be operational this weekend. It just means that the engine will no longer be on the floor of my garage, which is a big step. No doubt that is an important step. But there will still be plenty of things to do. Putting the exhaust and drive shaft back in, all of the accessories, the radiator, plugging all the wiring back in, all the gauges, running my power steering cooler, which I may change because I also want to plumb a brand new oil cooler. I've never run an oil cooler before, and it would help the car's temperature significantly. But to do that, I gotta figure out what to do, spec it, plumb it, and then also replumb the power steering, because I'd probably rather move it than make my oil go a super long way. I don't know, we'll see. Thank you everyone for the birthday wishes. I appreciate it. We're just following Turbo around Grange, or Apple Valley Speedway as it's now called. It's like I had ESP senses to anticipate that chat question. It's kind of amusing. Tire into the dirt. Not exactly my preferred strategy here. Looks like Turbo wasn't able to link that this time. You gotta take a really tight line in order to stretch that little straight into a link. Not a big deal. Stuff like that happens all the time on these little kart tracks, where people don't always get a good transition or a good run for whatever reason, and so you just have to let them grip up. I'm not usually worrying about staying in drift through this turn, but I'll take it. I'm actually in a better position this time. Gaming, how are you? I think your comment, for reasons I couldn't possibly explain other than YouTube's auto mod feature, is held for review, but I see it. I'll pop it in to the chat in a second. Try to do that during this straightaway show. Right up to third. I'm gonna dive in on turbo. Hopefully not assassinate him. Could have gone better. Yeah, tires are going. I do not like driving dead tires in this game. Aaron's getting the T300 base and an aluminum adapter. Very cool. Lyle, yeah man, having a good day. We've got a pretty solid crew out. Everybody is one with the shreds. Cars are loud too, listen to that. Let's see what everybody's doing here for a sec. Me, I do not use stability control while drifting. No, I don't. All assists are off. It does help a lot to have a belt drive wheel. Not all sim wheels are created equal, just like not all cars in the real world are created equal. So there is a couple of pieces to the realism puzzle. You've got, is the game itself realistic? Does it have a good physics engine? Does it have cars that are modified or modeled to work like a drift car? Like if you take, Gran Turismo, not any particular Gran Turismo, I'm not even played the latest, but I'm just picking an example. If you pick like a 240SX in Gran Turismo, it doesn't have steering angle mods. Basically, it'll handle more like a grip car, or like a early 90s drift car than it will like a 2020 drift car, where they have like 60 degrees or 50 degrees or huge amounts of steering angle and do backwards entries and stuff. So you've got like, is your game realistic? And then you've also got, is your hardware realistic? Because the cheapest wheel will handle very differently than a mid-tier, will handle very differently than a direct drive. And I'd say you at least need a belt drive wheel to get a good experience there. That will help you drive without assists, because the biggest assist in real life is caster, which is the suspension geometry that causes the front tires to automatically point in the direction that the vehicle is traveling, regardless of which direction the vehicle is facing. Just like a shopping cart. Have you ever like drifted a shopping cart? You push the back like sideways and the front wheels just go in that direction and just point that way? That happens in real life. The wheel will steer in the direction that the car is going. And if you watch the hands of a driver, you can see it on my content, you can see it on my clips. Put a clip up. It'll take a second to cycle through to one of the clips where I'm driving, but you'll be able to see this. It will automatically roll through their hands, and that's the wheel self-steering, basically. And in order to get a similar experience in sim, you're best served by getting a belt drive wheel or a direct drive, although I don't think a direct drive is really necessary. Yeah, you can make it work without it. You do have to throw the wheel, and you generally don't have to throw the wheel in a decent modern drift car unless like the power steering is broken in it for some reason, but I would no longer call that a decent car. Like at that moment it would become a trash car until the power steering system was fixed. Lee, Sam, happy birthday. Well, thank you for the good wishes. I appreciate it. I'm just happy to be here, guys. Another year. I'm not gonna go into specifics, not that it really bothers me, I just don't feel like talking about it. It's not relevant to the content. But I will say, if I were a Skyline, I would be old enough to legally import into any country. Dangerously fast, what's up? An easy way to drift with a weak wheel is to just turn the minimum force up. Yes, you do need to do some things. We've got a Discord channel that basically is all about that. It's read-only, so that it's very short, simple, and easy to follow. But it covers the gist. There you go. You can see Abo Satsukawa here from Abo Moon. And when he transitions, we'll see if he manually steers or not. He's got a tiny wheel in that car, so he might... Nope, he throws it. So you don't really have to throw the wheel, but if you want to, you can. And he is of the wheel thrower to a degree, but there where he's like letting go for a second and the wheel, you see it like slip through his hands, that is all that caster I'm talking about in real life. And to get the same effect simulated in sim, it's not enough to just play a realistic sim. You have to have what I would consider a realistic simulation wheel as well. How many tracks have I driven on IRL? That's a great question. If you don't count skid pads, let's see, Sandia Speedway in Albuquerque, G&J Cartway in Ohio, Kilcare Speedway in Ohio, OMC in Oklahoma, Mac Park in Oklahoma. I'm gonna drive Howlett later this year in Oklahoma, Ebisu in Japan. So I think around like 8. There may be more that I'm forgetting. I haven't traveled around a whole lot. I've just I've spent more of my time in like my local area, and I've lived in a couple different states since I've been drifting. So that's kind of the reason that I've got basically, you know, Kentucky and Ohio and Kansas. If you count skid pads, there's heaps more, but that's kind of the gist, I suppose. JoJo Street, thank you. Corrupt, what's up? I realize that's why I like the ABC car. I got a G29. Oh, the ADC car. Yeah. It does mesh better with those vehicles because they transition a little slower, and that works better with the fact that the G29 will transition a little slower. But it's still certainly people that drift excellent, winning competitions and everything on those wheels. So it's not that you can't, it's just that it's less realistic. Rao Rage Gaming, what is up? I don't know what's up with that word vomit, but have a timeout. Feel free to come and hang out and not spam with meaningless content. Aiden, cool, living in Australia, right on. Tasmania, we have only 2 racetracks here, but I'd love to go to Japan one day. Yeah, I'm kind of jealous because Aussies get a good deal on airfare out to Japan. For me, there's a certain time that Americans can go. Like, if you don't live next to a place that can do a one flight, like Dallas, Texas, Cali, Chicago, I think Arizona or Colorado, maybe Colorado, can do a direct flight to Japan. But a lot of other places you have to take like a domestic, you know, couple hour hop first, and then you are able to actually fly out to Japan, and so that increases the cost significantly. You end up, that's some good tandem. I don't really want to talk over these cars, but oh well, I guess it is what it is. You end up paying a fair bit. I think if you have to make a domestic hop, you might as well plan on $1,000 for a cheap ticket. I don't know what prices are going to look like after COVID kind of gets resolved. Hopefully it gets resolved. But I hear that in Australia you can go for, I don't know, 500 or something, significantly less. It like blows away your bank account just to get to Japan, let alone actually do anything to get there. Not quite. Yeah, I used to live in Kentucky. My parents moved around a lot when I was younger, so I think various times, like Virginia, West Virginia, Kentucky. I've been to Tennessee and Ohio. Like, I've been to Georgia. I've got family in Florida, the Carolinas, Texas. That's not all family, but like places I used to go regularly, used to live, and do go regularly. So, and you out of here? Okay. Right on. Thanks for the feedback. I appreciate it. Spiffy, what is up? Yeah, man. I've updated my my settings just a little bit. So I added this top-down camera, which is blowing me out right now pretty badly. I look like a ghost, but I need to turn that down now that I think about it. Dang. Universe, thank you for the update. Tombs, yeah, I played Live for Speed. I do not think it's 1,000 times better. I think it's better in a few ways, and I think it's worse in several ways as well. But I've been playing Live for Speed since like 2005. I haven't played it in a couple years, but I've played it quite a while. Ticket to Japan for 500 from Miami. Man, I look and I feel like you can do that like over 3 weeks once a year. Like, I haven't seen that. Yeah, you have to buy cars in Japan. You can't rent them. Well, that's not entirely true. I think Kansai Dori is a place that will let you rent a car, but for the most part, you have to buy it outright and then sell it back if you don't crush it against the walls and stuff. Universe, yeah. Car is coming back together this weekend as far as the engine and trans. And then I can start the process of putting all the components back together. Our next event in the area is in Oklahoma in mid-May, and I hope to have the car running for that. There's no reason the car shouldn't be running, I just don't think I'll have enough work, so I'm not sure how hard I'll ride. Like, I can just drift and not clutch kick, that's not a problem, because I've got a V8, but I don't know that I want a tandem on it, we'll see. Daryl, percent for tire heating? I may have it turned up a little bit. Usually for these kind of cars, I run it just about stock. I have run it as high as, I think, like an extra 50%. I don't usually max it out. It just gets annoying and hard to see. What's up, Vix? How are you? How much money have I put into a drift car? Too much. I don't know. I've been drifting the same car for like 17 years. So if you add up all the tires and gas and event fees, I mean, easily. I couldn't even give an accurate range, but I'm sure somewhere between like 30 and 50K, because it's like almost 2 decades of drifting in. Hard to hear over the cars. Yeah, I hate the fact that the Death Wish cars are so loud. They sound really good. They're annoyingly loud. I'll just go back to my car where it's less loud. Yeah, this track would be a little bit challenging with the KA240, not gonna lie. And actually, it's good that you mentioned that, because we're going to do a track change. I'll drop, just as a reminder, the join information in, and we'll go back to video chat here. Let's see what track is up next. OTM Mid-Pump is up next. Alright, let's get this track change done. Let's drop files into our server tool here. There that is. Now we have to come over here and update them. While we're taking care of this, do not forget to take a second and hit that like button. It actually does help the streams get more traction, and over a repeated number of weeks, that does help the channel to grow. So I would appreciate your support on that. The OG Initial D soundtracks, I don't have any issues with running them, but I've always had Stream Beats, synthwave, and lo-fi as well. I just cycle through, and right now I am in a Stream Beats mood. I actually was thinking about streaming Initial D Arcade a little bit tonight, and so I was going to turn all the initial D music off for the Assetto portions, but I don't have my cameras and crap set up, so I'll just have to wait for another time. Senior Potato, check out Alpha Gaming, awesome YouTuber, Harris Heller, he's a great dude, and just Google search Stream Beats and you will find it. It's all copyright free. I mean, everything in the world is copyrighted, but like you are allowed to use it. He will never give you DMCA strikes. Very cool dude. Let's see, what's the password? We'll make sure we can get loaded in here without any issues. Yeah, happy to help, Senior Potato. Asian boy, thank you, I appreciate that. Mason, read the Discord or the video description. Trenton, thank you, that's very kind. I think the car looks pretty darn good for a drift car. Ghost 8-Bit, thank you for the birthday wishes. I appreciate it. Number 2, it is Mid Pond by OTM. I believe that I have got that password spelled correctly. We'll know in a second if anybody's able to join. Oh yeah, the password's correct. Very cool. Oh, Spiffy, thank you, my friend. Yeah, it's another year down, and I was just telling everybody at the start of the stream too that it's kind of been an interesting birthday because it was earlier this week, really, and it just like thinking back on a year ago and the fact that we were like going down into the unknown of all this mess with the pandemic, and I mean we're not out of it yet, but we're definitely in a better place now than we were a year ago. And hopefully things continue along that path and continue to get better. So that's kind of cool, just as a point of reflection, something to be thankful for and grateful for amongst all the potential negativity that you could otherwise be looking at with this mess. And also, it's just been kind of cool, like, I don't know, you sort of expect to get birthday wishes from at least a couple people on your birthday, but because of how disconnected everybody has been with COVID going on, and like some of my friends, I haven't seen them in like a year and a half, many folks, so it kind of hits different this year, so I always appreciate it, but I especially appreciate it this year, so thank you, and thanks everybody. Jump into our next track. This is Mid Pond, revamped by OTM. It's only been out for a couple months. It's a pretty nice track. Yep, I've got my second vaccine already. I was lucky, and my area did pretty well on it too. There's Mocked in the sewer. What's up, bud? Little birthday bump. That's fine. Have a good birthday drinking the steel cup. Yep. It's just a Coca-Cola tonight. However, there are times when we do a little sim boozing. This is such a narrow little track. I don't know how comfortable, if it actually drives like this, I would be linking or trying to link certain sections. Certainly didn't go deep enough there. Mid Pond is a fun track, but it's tricky. Like right here, I don't see how you could drift that without doing a pretty significant wheel drop. And I wouldn't want to do that like 40 laps in my car. It's just asking for something to break. Here as well is kind of an awkward section of track. The rest of it flows tolerably. There are times when you have to get off throttle instead of just hanging in it to kill speed though, so you don't fly off the edge. Like right here, I took a terrible line and had to brake pretty hard in the transition because I knew that I was going to shoot off otherwise. Another section. You can build up speed, but then you got to slow down here because otherwise it'll just drop you right off the edge. Like, see, I dropped a tire even still. So you've got to pay attention to where the car can and cannot go wide. Like here it starts off wide and then it tightens up a bunch. So you can sort of like carry a lot of speed in, but instead of transitioning on throttle like you would in a lot of places, you actually transition off throttle so that the car kills speed, and then once it runs out of speed and is about to grip up, you're about in the right spot to get back on throttle. But like, I can link this in a video game, but I feel like it would wreck the car because a lot of times the easiest line involves dropping a tire like right there and then right here. Not that badly, I kind of did a shit job, but you get the idea. Craig's hail, Drift Man. Yep, all I'm going to say about that is that I am legal to import. You do not have to retrofit me for emissions laws. A pretty aggressive overspeed. Happens. I have done that to people too. Spiffy not recognizing a whole lot of users in chat. Hopefully all that frequent the chat are now in game. Hopefully. I definitely see several of our usual faces here. I'm gonna wait until I can find somebody to follow. Poor Turbo, he always gets stuck with me hunting him. I don't specifically wait for Turbo, but he's just always on track and doing well. I actually want to see how Turbo does some of the sections that I've said I feel like don't really link very well unless you intentionally dip a tire. Which, again, in the sim, it's fine. Okay, he just goes 100% in for doing a Monty right there. That would fix that problem. I bet he's going to do that on the other straight too then. We'll see. He'll have to because he's behind an 8.6 now. Nope, he's gonna do a huge e-brake drag. Okay, fair enough. Alright, well, let's get into formation here. I got my closing speed a little faster than it needed to be, which was fine for me, but the guys behind me were not expecting it when I did that and then had to decelerate faster. They were not expecting the deceleration, so that was that. boy saw the video of an illegally imported R33 getting crushed by a digger. Yeah, man, that's tough. I hate to see it, but like, I don't know. It's kind of like you shouldn't have imported it early, or if you did, you should have hidden that thing and just kept it like as a secret bar in existence until later. Zane Bain, what is up? Welcome to the stream. Spiffy, yeah, I'm eligible for vintage plates, for sure. Curious how things are rolling. 115 viewers, not too shabby. I'm hanging out for close to 4 minutes. That's about average watch time, actually. All right. Cut some more clips here. Let's see how we're doing on time. Half an hour. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and go to POV while we're at it, so hold on just one moment. I'm going to keep audio rolling. Put you guys on clips for just a second while I get myself all situated. This is a fun track to try and do the POV stuff. I wish this kit was more comfortable though. Also, I gotta buy some new headphones because my current headphones, the top bit is plastic and half the collar is now snapped off of one of the little earmuff type things. So it won't be all that long until this thing just rips apart one stream. And I'm trying to decide, do I want to wait for it to rip apart, or do I want to try and fix it proactively? Let's see how our camera looks here. Height of that is pretty okay. I think I'm good with it. All right, we'll pull this down out the way, and we will roll here with the POV. I am gonna wait to find somebody to follow because I've got myself mostly sorted here. Mercenary Thanes. Oh, okay. And we'll see how it goes. I should actually adjust my cockpit view too, because now you see two wheels. What is up, Brody? How are you, my friend? When I'm not doing POV streams, which I don't usually do for the entire night because it gives me kind of a headache. But yeah, when I'm not doing POV content, I like to show the wheel so that you can kind of see and appreciate what's happening with the steering. But obviously now there's the real wheel and the in-game wheel. You don't really need both. Aggressively enough. Car basically ripped up on me. It's fork. GoPro. Man, it happens. It's all good. Oh, I hate trying to e-brake drag right there. I'd almost rather just everybody do a manji if it's going to be that awkward. Gently, but still spun around. Alright, I gotta drive like I know these guys are gonna do these manjis right here. for the birthday wishes. Appreciate it. Bonk. That didn't work. We had a question. Probably a good question. Let me find it here. When you drift straight ahead, do you hold the brake pedal sometimes while holding the gas? I mean, you don't really drift straight ahead per se. So if you are going down like a straightaway and you're trying to link it, if you can, you're just going to go all the way to one edge and then all the way to the other. Like, if this right here is the track, you're gonna like drift as far out to this edge as you can, and then transition and drift as far out to this edge as you can. And if that lets you get to the next turn, great, you're golden. If it's a little too short and the next turn is still too far away, then you're gonna e-brake, and or you might try a little bit of left foot brake. It really just depends. I prefer e-brake in that situation to help extend. And you're just gonna go as wide as you can over here, as far down the track as you can, and then as wide as you can over here. And once the car is getting ready to start cutting back in, if you're still like too short and the turn is further up, then you e-brake over here, and it like makes you go straight, basically. KRCR, thank you. I appreciate that. It's very kind. I've been working on this setup for several years, and I'm happy to have it where it is now. I rock it in between drifting my real life car, which I have been doing for way longer than I've been doing sim content. Most of the people on YouTube that are doing sim, although it's changing gradually as more of the IRL drift crew begins to appreciate the fun and meaningful quality of practice on sim. But most of the time, your drifters are sim drifters only, which there's nothing wrong with that. But it's kind of a unique thing to instead be a real life drifter who also plays in the simulator. Favorite FD driver? I like Denofa quite a bit. He's got a lot of heart, he's got a lot of drive, he tells it like it is. He makes content that is authentic but also kind of lazy sometimes. Like, it's just, he's just telling it, you know, he's just telling it, speaking his truth. And like, it's good quality information, and it's just very classic YouTube style content. Sometimes I feel like my stuff gets a little too polished, and I should probably not, like, I don't try hard, but I just should probably make it sound a little bit rougher around the edges because it would go better. And like, I'm pretty rough around the edges. As you guys who hang with me on stream know, I'm very chill, I goof off quite a bit, but sometimes on my really focused like tutorial content, I just try to make it very tight and to the point, because generally I don't want to waste anybody's time. YouTube is a brutal place and people will quit watching if you like take time to breathe because they get bored and they could be watching some other video. So like, you try different things sometimes in an effort to deliver a good experience that will get a lot of retention and views. It's just nice to be able to chill a little bit during these live streams instead, keep it real. But yeah, Chelsea's a good dude. There's a lot of cool drivers. Not too many people that you wouldn't have a reason to like. But I'll give the nod to the Denofster for now. Does he have a nickname? I don't think the Denofster is the nickname he should have. What's up, Paul? Probably everybody else. Thank you all for the birthday wishes that pop in regularly. Appreciate each and every one of them. Potato asks, what's your favorite JDM car? I guess we don't have enough speed to link that for anything. nearest and dearest to my heart is the S13 or 180SX. Really the 180, the hatchback. I quite like the Acura NSX. I've always thought that was a very cool car. We gotta get some more detailed questions here, like what's your favorite JDMK car? Which would probably be the Autosan and then the Cappuccino after. Zane, this map is Mid-Pond. It's a real-life drift track near Georgia, but I think it's actually in like, is it in Alabama? And this is a newer version that came out earlier, I believe this year, by the crew at OTM on the mountain. They make drift content, they have a drift crew, and they have a server up as well. Oops. But they've been doing some cool stuff for the community and have been putting out some tracks recently. They also did Lime Rock, which is another place with a pretty decent flow. Fabiola, thank you. That's very kind. I try my best. I mean, I'm obviously not like trying very hard if I'm busy like reading chat and talking and stuff, but just having a good time, just chilling. I'm a very chill guy. Matt, I have not used Reshade. This is just CSP and Soul. CSP 1.73, or 0.73, and then Soul is 2.0.2. I need to get educated, and like there are people in my community that can teach me, and I just haven't taken the time. I need to get educated about the other options, because I hear about Reshade, I hear about A3PP, I think it is. And I know that some of those have resulted in just absolutely amazing photographs. However, I haven't really looked into how good those are for like actually making a video and for good performance. I don't want to totally kill my system by having it try to render all this stuff if it's going to be a really big load on the CPU and GPU. Because I'm already like encoding, streaming, doing triple monitors. I've got like 1, 2, 3, 4 cameras simultaneously going. So I don't want to blow my system up. I'm probably somewhat close to capacity. It does work well though. There's FB. What's up, FB? Asian boy, favorite German car? Ooh. I like the really old stuff, like the E30 BMW. Favorite Skyline is the 34. I really like the 32. The 33 I don't hate. A lot of people hate it. It's kind of quirky looking to me, but it's fine, whatever. I drove a 32 GTST. I drifted a 32 GTST. And I was like, okay, this is exactly identical to an S chassis. Like, it's the same thing. It just looks cooler. Potato, you're out. Right on. Gabrielle, thank you for tuning in. What is up, Brazil? Hope you guys are having some wonderful weather. I'm not sure what's going on or what the season is like out there, but hope you all are doing well. Here's a pretty solid tandem train, which we can spectate from the very back. I always like to say this is the second best seat in the house outside of the driver's seat to watch a huge tandem train from. We may even catch up at some point. Did not balance the car appropriately. These cars from World Drift Tour Street have a little bit of rear traction, which I really prefer, but it makes balancing them have some difficulty to it. It's not completely effortless. You see me just having a totally terrible lap. Oh, the Ken Mary is cool too. I mean, if you want to talk like old cars, the Mazda RX-3, but like all the old cars are rad. We're actually going to be driving a lot of old cars on Twitch later. I've got some grip battles lined up for us. We're going to have Toyota 2000 GT, Datsun 510s, non-Japanese cars as well, BMW 2002, MG Midget race cars, Hillman Imp, what else? The Renault Alpine, like rally car, as well as a few other things. I'll be driving the RX-3 for that part of the stream, just because I like rotaries. I don't get to drive them enough. Teleport to pits is not a feature of a car, it's a feature of custom shaders patch and content manager. I think it's actually a feature of content manager is the most accurate way to say that. So every car in the game should respond to teleport to pits unless you happen to be having a button mapping issue, which I had earlier at the start of the stream. Delayed the start by like 10 minutes, 5 minutes, where I was like streaming and I was hanging out with everybody, but I couldn't actually go drive because my build decided to just not be recognized. Happens. Wonderful times. Zion, what is up? Thank you for the birthday wishes. So we are driving at Mid-Pond. This is a real-life drift track. I think it is in Alabama. It's one of the tracks that the Georgia guys, like Garage Moon Power, will go drive. Because if you're in Georgia, just random, I've got some drift friends out there. The move is usually to go to Mid-Pond or to like OSW in like Florida. I guess there's not a whole lot of options nearby there outside of Road Atlanta, which I imagine Road Atlanta doesn't actually have too many drift events besides FD. Nathan, how are you? Welcome to the stream. Thank you for tuning in. We are enjoying a little bit of shredding here on YouTube. Later on, we're going to hop over to my Twitch channel and continue the good fun. We've been doing circuits here on YouTube, and we're going to go to tailgate tracks on Twitch later. Not too much later either, like in the next probably 20 minutes. I haven't checked the time recently. Toge segments. We're doing yet another Toge that I have never driven before, and I have no idea what it's like. I just trust some of the community members' recommendations, and it is a 90s Golden Drift Spot project, which I know they make awesome tracks, but I just haven't driven this one. Saka no Tsuji, I believe it's called. It's pretty narrow, it's pretty tight. I'm going to be sight reading it, which is always a blast. I'm sure I will crash a few times. But we'll be driving the World Drift Tour street cars down that Toge, downhill run. And then we're going to go over to Gunma, the Gunma Cycling Center for like bicycle training. But also the track that you may know from Best Motoring, hot version, the Toge battles that they would do that were grip. Cat and mouse battles. We have like Burrito and Tsuchiya and everybody. And for that, we're actually going to be doing grip Toge battles. So Twitch tonight is going to have Toge action, both grip and drift. 60s and 70s touring cars. Mostly a mix of JDM and European. Brad, what is up? Thank you for the birthday wishes. I appreciate that. Got a little too distracted reading chat. I'm not going to transition because that guy's on the door. So we'll keep that little link real shallow. Doomy. Sakano Tsuji uphill is pretty easy to learn. I ended up picking the downhill. My burning battling spirit was feeling the initial D vibes, and so downhill was one I picked. Hopefully it's not that much worse in terms of difficulty. But Jaeger said that Sakanatsuji was pretty solid. And hopefully he means the whole track. Because I'm basically directing everybody, don't go back up the hill, teleport back to pits. No running. Crazy Carl, great stream, gotta go and slate here on the East Coast. Right on, brother. I know how it is. I'm in the middle of the country, so like, I always gotta keep that in mind when I'm talking to my homies out in Florida. That it's an hour later already. We're gonna be getting tired. But I appreciate you tuning in, and we will be here next Friday again. Edited videos, of course, will be coming out through the week. I think next I'm going to drop either an Assetto tutorial or my video comparing Street 2 race clutches. And all that's going to happen in between getting the real electric car put back together, which is pretty much offline or on Instagram. I can drop pics in the Discord occasionally. I appreciate you tuning in. I appreciate everybody tuning in all the time. We've got such a rad little community here. With a shot. What's up, the kid? It's all good. It is all good. So we were rocking out at Grange or Apple Valley Speedway earlier. Had a pretty decent time. Now we are rolling through Mid Pond. And we're pretty far through the YouTube stream. You can tell because I'm getting a little distracted. We'll be on Twitch fairly soon. Let me check. Yeah, I got about 9 or 10 minutes left of shreds. Let's find some tandem buddies, as it were. Solo car than a huge train, just it's a little bit easier on this track to manage. So let's try to follow Dust Machine. I feel like that's some sort of reference to the fact that your drift car is supposed to be a smoke machine, but because it's been up on jack stands for so long, it's now a dust machine, which I can relate. That's totally how my car has been for the past year. Stream curse got him. It's alright, happens. We will find someone else to follow. Oh, my bad. Rezon in the house. Happy birthday from New Zealand. Thank you. That's very nice of you. I appreciate that. Hope you guys are doing well out there. Zane, the map download information. Please don't spam, is in the video description, and I'll drop it in the chat for you as well. It may take it a second to populate. My Stream Deck sometimes hates me. Yeah, my Stream Deck just hates me. It takes like 30 seconds for the first one to pop in, so I second guess it. Hit it again, and then it pops in twice, but it's all good. Plenty of people don't read anyway, so sometimes it's gotta be like that. Aaron, what is up? Tuning in, hope you're doing well. It is yet another night of the shred. D-Day from Oz. Thank you. Very much appreciate that. I would love to get out to Australia and drift at some point. Talk about money I don't have. I out there, but I would not be able to sort a car. I'd have to have somebody just give me a car like a freaking hero. And I don't know if that's ever going to happen. But I will make a trip. Australia is at least, very least, on my bucket list. Be back when the stream starts, the kid. Right on. We'll see you then. I'm actually super looking forward to our toge grip battles. That's just going to be a hoot. Sim racing. I am switching in like 3 minutes or something. I've got an alarm set. When I checked a bit ago, it was like 10. Zane, happy to share the info. From the Melbourne, Brisbane. Oh, I said that really weird. Like I didn't even say that American. Like Melbourne. No one calls it Melbourne. It's Melbourne. That's how we would say it. I'm going to take this camera off here. Give me 1 second. We do still have audio during all that, so I can still chat at you guys. Let's see. Dingus asks, what do you have your brake pedal gamma set to? Mine is at 2.4 by default for some reason, and I think that might be the problem with my left foot drifting. What is the problem with your left foot drifting? Like, what difficulty are you experiencing, just to help me get on the same page as you? Let me know, and then we'll figure this out. Normally I can't stop and check that, because if I leave my server to check my settings, I won't be able to get back in without resetting it. But I'm about to change tracks anyway, so it's actually fine. It's perfect timing. So, I'll wait for you to answer that while I pull up my settings. I don't mind to share what I can here. NXCs. So I just have my gamma set to the default, which is 1.0. One thing, at least with the Fanatec brakes, is I find the brake pedal to be very, very aggressive, which makes sense because this kit is designed to simulate a lot of racing vehicles, and for the most part, like purpose-built racing vehicles, like homologation racers, and then old school cars and cars that like didn't have power steering, which is why the steering is so strong. Cars that didn't have brake boosters and stuff like that. So, in order to get a realistic feel on the brakes for me, I actually have my endpoint turned down a ton, because if you have a brake booster and you're driving like a 90s car, the brakes are not hard to press. I actually should turn it down even more, and I just haven't. I'm running it from 0 to 40%, so 40% of pedal pressure equals 100%. Because in a real drift car with a brake booster, it doesn't take much at all. That's like the biggest thing that I need to still shore up with my kit. I actually was drifting my buddy A-Tip's BMW E46 and locked up the pedals when I went to left foot brake, just because of all the sim practice. I'm used to really having to stomp on them a bit. And if you lock the pedals when you left foot brake, if you lock the wheels when you left foot brake, the car comes out of drift with a quickness. It's okay to drag one tire because it's leaning the weight really hard, so the unweighted tire will lock first, and that's what you'll see in like FD a lot. But if you actually lock the weighted tire, you are in a world of hurt. It's not a good time. Do not recommend. Yeah, no idea why they did that, but anyway, those are the settings that I've got. The 40% thing is just whatever feels right as far as the pedal pressure to achieve locked brakes. But for me, the gamma is at the default value of 1.0, so I would say try that. Zane asks, what wheel should I upgrade to? I have a Thrustmaster TMX. You want to go to at least a Thrustmaster T300 or TX. For sure. Aw, thanks Turbo for the birthday wishes. I appreciate that. Let's see, what track is up next? Next up, we have, Sakano Tsuji Toge. So, I gotta get that pulled up. transfer it over. We'll be setting that up here. It'll take just a moment. It'll take longer if I didn't actually save the server preset. Oh, let's see, I must have left that over here. Okay, we do have it, I just didn't copy it over. Once I make a drift preset, I usually keep it in a folder, and then I can very easily just update the password if I need to, and deploy it without having to rebuild it all the time. It takes a minute, but it saves me time after I have put stuff together, so I probably have 20 different preset tracks that I can just hot swap to now. Alright, so we've got that rolling. We'll come over here, do our track restart. And then as always, we will have our short break as we switch over to the Twitch channel. Sim Racing and Drifting says, my brother came home last weekend with his RB25 Neo swapped 240 and it was glorious. That is very cool. If you haven't already, drop a couple pics of that baddest of boys into the Discord's IRL Cars Drift section or IRL Cars General. I would love to see it. And if you already have, my bad, I'm a bonehead. I think you probably have it though. Alright crew, it is time for you guys to hit like on this stream if you haven't already. Subscribe if you haven't already, but I know you have. So, the next thing to do is to bounce over to twitch.tv/KameTrick and hang out there. We're going to take about a 5 or 6 minute break, and then there's a link for you so you can just click right to it. Drop a follow while you wait. If you've got a Prime Gaming sub, hold on to it and we'll hype the stream up when I go live, and you can drop that then as well. I'd love to have your support there, and we will continue on for our birthday bash live stream, where we are then going to be challenging Toge in first person with drifting to start off with, and then grip racing at Gunsai hot version or best motoring style, which is going to be very cool. So I will see you guys then. Thank you so much for tuning in on this part of it. Nana Neko, sayonara. Yeah, we will see you on Twitch if you are on the platform. I hope you are. And as always, happy Friday. Happy streaming. Peace.